I can't breathe again. God damn, I can't breathe. Our voices have been quarantined. COVID-19, 60s to 1619. Jamestown choked me, sold me, shackles hold me tightly by my neck, and I can't breathe again. 2020 ain't no fucking vision on your tail eye vision of why I'm living like a prejudged villain. CNN, Fox News commentating and debating why I can't fucking breathe again. How many times do I have to say this? I'm taking the gloves off because racism is the main deadliness that's contagious. I just got diagnosed and received a degree in criminology, but fuck your education. I don't want to learn shit from a nation that's racist. The definition of policing, overseeing property. I can't understand how the white man never understood how to handle the human properly. I hope Elijah Muhammad and the noble Jew Ali spoke constantly, consciously, and cautiously about this ungodly prophecy. You still worried about your prophecy? Amazon deliveries, handouts, hands up, don't shoot, but now your knees are on my neck, stopping me from occupying oxygen that God obviously brought for me. For I am His offspring, His true seed. Motherfucker, get off of me, please. I can't breathe. Please, somebody call the police on the police, cause I can't breathe again, and everything hurts. Your words, your knees, your nerve, your white wife who had the nerve to say she was frightened by black life while my face is on the fucking curb. I ain't scared of no fucking virus. This mask is for a riot. I can't breathe, and the media telling me to keep quiet, suffocating me into silence. The devil's greatest trick, convincing the world that we were the ones who were violent. Nah, they the ones deficient, insufficient comprehension of their barbaric existence. Y'all worried about this pandemic when our grandparents still trying to recover from when you gave them syphilis. Because in our blood, we scared of the white cells attacking our immunity. The system defective, infected. So who has the disease, you or me? Because I'm at a dis-ease, disadvantage, dismantled disability of your white knees killing me. Been on our neck for centuries. Knees or trees, either way you still lynching me. And what did we ever do to you except for build and make America great initially? Fuck again, cause I can't breathe. Potentially you missing me, clearly not listening. Intentionally, we are a people of peace, but like Pac said, I ain't no killer, but your policies are pushing me further from the legislation, jumping off the education, while your skinheads the damnation and your clandestine rhetoric will forever be evident. Fuck the elite in the top 3%, I'm heaven sent. I was born Asiatic, you made me asthmatic, so fuck your vaccines and masks. You gon' worry about these hands tomorrow cause you can't sanitize the past. You may have took my last breath, but you'll never colonize my spirit. Standing there watching while I die. I can't breathe, and you still can't hear it.
We can't hear you. No.
Sorry about that.
That's fine.
So what did y'all think about that? And welcome to the show, everybody. It's Talk Lately. It's Tuesday, June the 6th. Well, I wanted to be November so bad because he's got to go. But, so what did y'all think about Nick Cannon's little tribute?
I think he should write for other people.
That was deep. I just felt like that was deep.
I liked it. I mean,
yeah.
what do you mean? Why do you say that, Nate?
Because he's not a performer, a good performer. And since he chose to be an artist and show this through his artistry, he opened himself up to my criticism. I'm not speaking for anybody else,
Mhm.
but I think he could have wrote this and gave it to somebody else to say.
I don't know if it was meant to be a performance piece. It wasn't a song that he released. He did it for Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just gave my opinion.
No, I'm just telling
I
you
think it
too,
was,
and I'm just saying I don't think he meant for. I don't know him, so he didn't call me and say this is my new song. I don't think he was. It was meant to be a song. I think it was meant to be a poem.
he's not. It would have been. I would have. This would have been an awesome post.
But what?
I just he. I mean, I'm just speaking in terms of the message was great.
Hmm.
The messenger, no.
I don't understand.
Why don't you understand?
What do you mean by the messenger? No, I mean,
Because I don't like the way he delivered it. It just took it. It just took it away from me. Like I
what
don't.
the theatrical? You didn't like the way it was.
No, I don't. I didn't. I think he needs some coaching before he starts delivering messages like this because it came across cheesy to me. I'm sorry. I like the message. I would have rather him write this out as a post opposed to performing it.
I liked it, and he gets a thumbs up from me. So
I liked it.
I don't know where Lindsay is. She still hasn't.
I'm here. I'm listening. I'm back. My father was just trying to get on, so I was directing him to get on the show. He was watching the piano video, so I know that he could finally see what was going on. So he's tuning in right now.
Oh, good, perfect. Welcome, Dad.
Yes, Ralph.
So we were talking about the Nick Cannon video. What did you? I mean, I don't want to call it.
He called it a video.
It was a video. It was a video.
Remember, I said before we started. I said I think he's talented, but his niche is entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. It's entrepreneurship.
So
that
you
is
didn't like the video.
talent.
That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm not saying that. What I'm just saying is that we all have a niche, and it probably he's just better at entrepreneurship to me. He's better at making money.
So you didn't like the video? Is what you saying?
I'm not saying that because I'm not.
Spit it out. Come on.
I'm
not let's do that.
I really didn't get a chance to. I really didn't get a chance to watch it because I was talking to my father, so I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Got you.
Yeah. So, but in just my personal opinion about Nick Cannon, it's because I've listened to.
Oh, see, this wasn't about the personal opinion of Nick Cannon because it wasn't about Nick Cannon. He did a video based on
what's going on now.
Yeah, but if it was just a post, he opened himself up to creative criticism when he decided to be an artist and perform his message. That's all I'm saying.
To be an artist.
I mean, I just feel like he was just trying to get a message out there. I don't really think that he was trying to get a record deal or nothing. I think he was just trying to get the message out there, like, hey, I'm with you too. Like, this is a lot going on right now.
And I agree with that. I just don't like the performance. The message was awesome. I don't like the performance. And I mean, I just see where he needs some help because this mirrors his music career. And it's the same thing.
But see, we keep trying to make it a musical thing, but it wasn't really musical. It was more of a performance piece.
And it was the performance was bad. The message was good. The script was good. Had he put somebody else's voice on it, it would have probably been much better.
I think somebody else would have took it to a different level.
I don't want to
not.
You feel the way you feel. I like.
I mean, I just feel like if somebody else did it, they would have took it to a musical level and not really try to get the point across.
The
like
message would have been diluted.
Yeah.
And there was something that he said that really hit home with me, but I can't remember now because I had to walk away from the phone. But there was something specifically that he said that really struck my heart. It made me a little emotional. But I don't remember what it was now. Maybe it'll come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is Benir there?
But at least he's using his platform as a means to just
going
on. That's
positive.
That's a good thing. Because he didn't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just I'm over theatrics when we speaking about stuff like this. I just say what it is that you got to say. I don't want the bells and whistles. I think that throws things off. I just want you to say what it is that he could have just said that, and it would have been much more poignant and powerful to me, because he's not a good actor or a rapper or spoken word artist. So it takes away the message to me. The message was fine. I'm agreeing with the message. I don't like the execution.
Okay. Is Benia there?
Benia is still sitting in the waiting room until she gets her act together. She's Spanish.
Oh my gosh, she's like mama.
I mean, I'm saying, like, has she even came back yet?
I haven't got any messages from her, so that's where she's going to sit with her wall exposed in the waiting room. Until she understands that you're supposed to be here in front of the camera. Lights come on. So, all right, let's go into the next story, which is the case of religion versus Trump props.
Ooh.
Okay. So we all saw what happened yesterday.
Yes.
And I just don't even understand how to even... I wanted to go live so bad yesterday, but then I was like, I want to save everything for today as I had got my head together and actually worked on stuff and got quotes from people that are actually involved in the story. So I did that.
Okay.
And now my computer doesn't want to work. Yeah, I have to get my real computer now because this is driving me nuts. And so we saw how. So we found out today too, as well, that what's his name?
Trump. What?
No, Bill Barr was
okay.
the one that ordered the officers that were at that line, at the line of Lafayette Park. He ordered them to proceed with the batons and the tear gas and the rubber bullets on to clear that path for that asshole to make his way to the front of the line. So I'm trying to figure out, like, in my mental, like, how is this happening? How did that happen? Like, you know, the disrespect from that administration is just, it's scary. It's scary to think about it. So the bishop was on, the bishop of that church that he went and posed in front of with the Bible, didn't even pray, which is the problem that everybody seems to be having with this whole entire situation now, is that he was using it for the photo op, but it was like a mockery.
Yes.
He was like, the bishop even actually said it, like he never even reads the Bible. And I got a video, so let's show it to you. And then we'll come back and talk some more.
Okay.
That day, the president just used a Bible, the most sacred text of the Judeo-Christian tradition, and one of the churches of my diocese, without permission, as a backdrop for a message antithetical to the teachings of Jesus and everything that our churches stand for. And to do so, as you just said, he sanctioned the use of tear gas by police officers in riot gear to clear the church yard. I am outraged. The president did not pray when he came to St. John's, nor, as you just articulated, did he acknowledge the agony of our country right now, and in particular that of the people of color in our nation, who wonder if anyone in public power will ever acknowledge their sacred worth, and who are rightfully demanding an end to 400 years of systemic racism and white supremacy in our country. And I just want the world to know that we in the Diocese of Washington, following Jesus and his way of love, we distance ourselves from the incendiary language of this president. We follow someone who lived a life of nonviolence and sacrificial love. We align ourselves with those seeking justice for the death of George Floyd and countless others through the sacred act of peaceful protest. And I I just can't believe what my eyes have seen tonight.
He is not a man of prayer on Sunday morning. We know that. And he is not one to worship at St. John's or regularly or any of the churches of our diocese. Let me be clear about it. He did not come to pray. He did not come to express remorse or consolation. He did not come to share the grief or to provide hope to the thousands of young people who were gathered in the park that day. He did nothing to say to them that your future is before you and I will protect you and do all that we can to make this country worthy of you, all the things that we need and deserve from anyone who is in leadership, spiritual or political, at this time.
So there you have it. And then he seemed to continue to go on his tour.
Again. God damn, I can't breathe. Our voices have been quarantined. COVID 1960s to 1619. James.
He continued to go on his basically, I guess he's going around to different religious places to, in lines to make it look like he's still doing a political rally or something like that. Just trying to get around to do political things because he went to the St. John Paul II National Shrine in D.C. today and did it again, basically. But this time he didn't have a Bible. He had his trophy wife.
My God.
How do you feel about it, Christians?
As a Christian, go ahead, Nate. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. As a person of faith, it saddens me that people cannot distinguish between someone who is using the same rhetoric that has been used for hundreds of years against people of color in terms of religion. I'm saddened that people like us still can't separate that the message, the faith, the religion has nothing to do with the person who is using it as a weapon. And I'm saddened that my faith has become a mockery to people who already have an issue with religion for their own personal reasons.
Yes.
And they can't separate the messenger, which is this person that does not represent any form of religion, whether it be anything.
Mm-hmm.
And people still can't separate it. I'm upset at that. On top of that, I'm upset that he knowingly chose to brandish this Bible as a weapon against the people who were peacefully protesting. I don't know what he thought he was going to achieve because he saw a crowd and wanted a spotlight. I don't understand what his messaging was, especially when you started off using violence to clear a path. Like it was too many things wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the bishop of that church chose to speak out and use her voice and her platform to be able to speak out against them and didn't just cower away and didn't say anything for fear of retaliation. And people need to do this. I'm upset at all those Black pastors and bishops that flocked to his church to get a photo op. I'm upset at them because they validated him doing that yesterday.
Mm.
I saw memes of them likening him to Hitler. And Hitler was doing the same thing. He was using I want to say it wasn't the Quran, but it was a Catholic Bible that he was brandishing when he was in power. So it's upsetting to me because I know what my faith is, and it has nothing to do with Trump or what he represents. And I want the separation of it. I need it.
Well, I think that's tantamount to what the bishop was trying to do. She's separating herself and her church away from this.
I'm glad she
wait
did
to hear the higher powers, though, people from the archdiocese to say something about it too, because actually one of the another bishop that is also at that church actually was there when it happened, and she was appalled about it. I didn't get her video though, but she was on CNN today. talking about how she was like, I couldn't believe it, the way they forced them off of the church's property. The protesters, the peaceful protests, and they forced them off the property like that. And now they actually gated. I didn't even understand how they could gate off that part of that park
Mm-hmm.
away to keep the protesters from getting closer to the White House. Their White House. Because it's the
I mean,
people's
he could
house.
have did that from the lawn. He had all that damn space. He could have did that from.
It's the
The
people's
man
house.
is the man is a dictator. He is a dictator.
Lindsay, you wanted to say something too?
Yeah, well, I agree with a lot of what Nate said. He pretty much covered a lot of what I said, but the man is a dictator. He is a dictator, period.
Mhm.
Period. He's not a Christian. And to use religion, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, but to use any form of spirituality or religion as a means to sway over people to you, it's pathetic to me. It's pathetic. And we just got to get him out the White House.
Mhm.
We have to get him out the White House. We
Definitely.
have to get him out of the White House.
Absolutely.
Agreed. So this other video that I is of Mayor Muriel Bowser of DC talking about the same thing. She was on New Day CNN this morning, and she I kind of like her. You know, they're still trying to push for statehood, which would take some of that power away from the presidency for running DC. So here she goes.
I can't really comment on that and what made the federal authorities think it was appropriate to clear the way for that purpose. Certainly, we want our demonstrations in Washington, D.C. and every part of Washington, D.C. to be safe for the demonstrators, but also safe for D.C. residents and D.C. businesses. And I think it just shows and it shines a light for a lot of Americans who are asking questions about Washington, D.C., that Washington, D.C. is not a state. And that's why we've been fighting for statehood for Washington, D.C., and we will continue to do so. A lot of people don't know that there are federal police here each and every day. And largely, our Metropolitan Police Department works hand in hand with U.S. Park Police and the FBI and the Secret Service to make sure that federal properties are safe and secure. And so that is a largely cooperative experience. And sadly, yesterday, we saw what could go wrong in that case.
Why do you think President Trump felt the need to go to Square
In the White House?
Why do you think President Trump felt the need to go to such extreme measures of clearing that path and having federal police officers use batons and tear gas on protesters so that he could go in front of a church that he then did not go inside, he stood in front of? Why do you think those measures were necessary?
I can't really comment on that and what made the federal authorities think it was appropriate to clear the way for that purpose. Certainly, we want our demonstrations in Washington, D.C. and every part of Washington, D.C. to be safe for the demonstrators, but also.
Why do you think President Trump felt the need to go to Square?
Such is life. Everything happens for a reason. Technical difficulties, I can't stand them. Now I'm pissed. But yeah, so she actually commented on that. So I thought her comment was perfect in that in the fact that they're still trying to get statehood, which they've been doing for the better part of 20 years, trying to get statehood for DC, and they just won't give it to them. Same thing for Puerto Rico.
Why do you think that is?
They still haven't
What
gotten
was the
this.
question, Arya? Did you finish it?
Huh?
Did you just ask a question, Arya?
Yeah, why do you think so? Why do you think that is?
Partly, I want to say it's racism. It's a racist factor because DC is majority black.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And then Puerto Rico is Hispanic.
Right.
Okay.
So you put that into the line. I mean, because they do have a representative, but the representative actually has no power.
Right.
She can vote. That's it. But she can't, present bills or anything like that.
Wow.
Not for representation of her city.
Right.
It's a sad story that can never seem to change because they don't have any power to do anything besides just in their state, in their area, their district.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff that gets held up because there's a federal implication that allows it to stop and then stop them in their tracks.
And
Right.
the people in that city that do represent wealth, they don't care because they're getting their needs met.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of that city is Black, and they're not gonna let that type of power, especially in the capital. They would change so much, much in that one city just by them becoming a state, and they're not willing to give that type of power away.
No, not without a fight anyway.
So I'm just going to move on a little bit. Did y'all seen that video? Well, I think Naya, you sent it to me, which is I thank you. The video of the students being pulled out of their out of their car, and in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I do have a video for that too, but I'm scared to actually pull up anything else. Fear for everything to shut down. Because I planned this show and everything is like freaking.
Now I did see that.
You did see that one?
Yeah, I did watch that.
Okay.
That was crazy.
All right, let's see if we can
It was ridiculous.
Let's see if we can get it to work. That is.
Guys, come to me right now. Come to me right now. Come to me right now.
Come to me
right now. Come to me. Come to me right now. This woman just got tased. Come to me right now.
I have a comment I want to read.
Come to me right now.
Ouch. Go ahead with your comment, Naya.
So just to backtrack a little bit, my aunt had sent me a message and it says, unfortunately, politicians know they are not held accountable to the Black voters. We vote them in and they forget we need the entire judicial system revamped.
Agreed. I mean, I guess that's
but I don't believe they forget. They were already social climbers and resume builders. That they just did what they had to do to get to that position, and then when they got there, most of them don't get paid nearly enough for the job that they have to do. So they then begin to play towards those special interest lobbyists and get money from left and right. So they don't forget. That was their plan to begin with. Unfortunately, we are the innocent bystanders of that, but I don't think
guinea pigs and all of this.
I don't think they're forgetting though.
That is sad. I just want y'all to know that right there is ridiculous. And this time I'm just
That's crazy. I just don't understand why they treat people like that in that, the video that we just watched.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can.
I mean, right, but it's getting outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
So, 6 Atlanta police officers have been charged after their dramatic video showed authorities pulling 2 young people from a car during the protest over the death of George Floyd. Fulton County District Attorney Paul Howard announced the charges during a news conference. He said, "I feel a little safer now." This is what the young man that was pulled out of the driver's seat said. "I feel a little safer now that these monsters are off the street and are no longer able to terrorize anyone." Messiah Young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Because
saw
it-
that.
I'm just like, what is your point?
And I
What was your
showed
purpose?
the video that was from the front view, and then when they pulled the girl out first, and then they tased, because they went to the extreme for him. They
Mhm.
tased him. They was
Beat
yanking him
him.
from both sides of the car.
Yes.
They didn't know who was pulling them out first, and then the officer that actually got him out on the driver's side and threw him down on the ground. He was agitated because he couldn't pull him out because the other person on the other side was pulling him the other way.
Yes.
So if you would have
It
just
was
relaxed
crazy.
and rested a little bit, maybe you would have been able to do that a little bit differently. But none of it was right, period, because they were at the wrong. They was doing things wrong in the first place. The whole entire
Mhm.
incident was wrong.
Yeah,
You
like the
shouldn't
one officer.
Never surrounded nobody car with 50
Yeah.
people.
Beating on his glass.
Busting the windows out.
Yes.
And I don't know how I would have reacted in a situation like that. Like, what the hell is going
I
on?
would have drove. I would have drove.
Rolled up in a ball.
I would have drove. I would have just drove off.
And then in the video I just showed, the lady, it was a lady in the car ahead of them that was waving at the camera, but then she heard the window bust and she just turned around and all you could see her was like this. She was just so shocked, and it's just sad.
It is.
And then
I'm trying
it's
to figure
happening
out-
now, which is the real problem. Like these officers, not all of them, not even most of them, but these officers are putting their
Mm-hmm.
attitudes, that all of that anger and frustration and all of that on display for us to see. And now it's coming to the light. Everything that we've been talking about for the past week is now coming to the light. That we
Yeah.
We say not
attitudes
all.
are,
We say-
their aggression, all of that stuff is coming to the light.
When we say
Yep.
not all, I hate that term because many of them have been quiet. Many of them have stayed and been silent when this is.
I didn't say they weren't complicit. I said not
Before.
all of them do this action though. They don't
Right.
all act that way, but they
But it's
are
been-
complicit.
Right, and they've been held up for, and nobody has said anything, and their union has always protected them, and nobody has said anything. And like many people said, he has given the orders to them to shoot. Like he's given that order.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the ones that are the bad apples are charging ahead. But just like when we watched the Asian gentleman stand between the gentleman that was on his neck and the people that were standing on the sidewalk, those are the cops that are making this happen. Because he looked like he didn't know what to do, and he just
He didn't.
all he knew was to not let them get close to him.
And that was the
Now
same one
you
that
are
sat
gonna
there
lose
and
your
watched that
whole
man
co-
get beat.
Right. And you will lose your whole career over protecting someone who had an issue. And they're saying now that the whole reason behind him even getting pulled over it was void.
Right.
So now the cops are playing judge, jury, and executioner. And
Absolutely.
So 5 of the officers were charged with aggravated assault in addition to other charges. 2 of the officers, investigator Ivory Streeter and investigator Mark Gardner, were fired immediately, and as well as being charged.
Good.
I didn't even get.
Atlanta
They
Mayor
didn't
Keisha
even.
Lance
What was that
Bottom
reason for
said
pulling them over?
Pilgrim
That's what I was trying to figure out.
was released without charges, and she said Young was released too, and she's ordering the charges against him to be dropped. She didn't specify what charges he faced. The police report says Young was charged with attempting to elude police and driving with a suspended license. Yeah, my license is no longer suspended at this point. I think I earned it back just now from you slamming me down on the ground.
Exactly. So you did all of that for a suspended license?
Right. For a traffic stop, because that's what that would have been, a traffic stop. And you would have made me call somebody to come pick up the car. But you slammed me on the ground.
Well, the young lady that was in the passenger seat could have driven if it was if
It
it
had nothing to
And
do
what
with
if
any of
what if
that.
it was suspended for the same reason that
How did they run the license plate? How did they? This is what they found
that
out
was
after
BS.
the
That's what I'm
arrest.
saying.
They had to find all this out after the arrest because they were on feet. They were on foot.
And it
So
looked
where
like
did
they was in
get
a
the chance to
tunnel
go
or
type in the
something.
computer to find out if this man's license was suspended?
But it looked like they
made
were in
these
a
charges
tunnel.
up after they arrested him.
Yeah. It looked like they were in a
Because
tunnel.
how could he elude the police in the first place when there was a car in front of him again?
It looked like it was traffic, and it looked like
There
they
was
were in a
traffic.
tunnel. So I'm thinking, like, how, unless the officers are just walking through the tunnel or wherever they are, just
It
seeing,
looked
like,
like
you know,
they
making
it,
sure that they was okay.
yeah, it
Everybody
looked
was
like they were just
okay
coming out on a corner, like they were standing on the
or
corner. But
something.
I don't I want to know what it was suspended for, how long. If it was suspended just during this pandemic, all of them need to be in
I'm
jail.
just trying to
Like,
figure out, how did you know before you before you put that man out of the car that his license was suspended? That's my
you
question.
pulled the passenger out the car. It's not like
That's what
the
I'm
car
saying.
was stolen.
Right.
They were coming
And
from
then
ICE.
the camera lady, she like, come to me. Who was she talking to?
I think she was talking to the young. I think she was directing their car to pull
To
over.
come this way.
Right. I think she was directing the car to pull over. But I'm over Earth.
All of this is just getting outrageous for no reason.
But it's been like
Really
this.
fast.
This is how it's been.
Yeah.
And we
But I feel like
just
it's
noticed it because
heightened.
people are pulling that camera out. It's been like this. This is what it's been like. And it's sad that we've gone on with our lives. It's just now we are mostly stationary. So we are forced to watch this. It's on social media, it's on TV. There's no getting around it. And I
But it's
can't,
like we are victims and guinea pigs in this whole thing. So it's just like, okay, I'm about to pick on y'all today, and then just pick a random person and just start treating them like it's crazy.
But we
It
have
doesn't
to
make
blame
sense to me.
ourselves though to a certain degree because we were so focused on getting a bag and getting a buzz, like that we sold off our human rights. Every time there was an election, we sold off another part of our human rights just so we can get a bag. Like I can't overlook that. And you see it right now. I don't know if you're going to talk about the Atlanta mayor, but she kind of spoke some type of light into where people's minds are right now. They're not even focused on the human right issue. I'm not saying not everybody, but it's too much. And this is going to get much worse before it gets better. And that's the fear that I have.
Well, DC and New York, all of their curfews have just gone into effect. So any images of how people are being rounded up or whatever, because over 300 people was arrested in New York last night. And they destroyed downtown of New York.
Yeah.
So with all
that
and the rioting and everything. Like
so what is that going to do to the jail system now that those 300 people that was out on the street, mostly with no mask, now are in the jail system, infecting all those prisoners that's already in jail?
They talked about that too. I'm glad you even brought that up because I was going to say something about the COVID situation as well, because there was a doctor that I was looking at on, I do believe that was CNBC, and they were talking about the COVID versus the protesting. So and one thing they were talking about is the fact that all of these measures that the police are taking to disperse crowds and clear crowds are starting to be kind of a catalyst to help COVID spread, because tear gas, what it does to you is it causes you to cough, it causes you to sneeze. So there's that amen thing. As well as it causes your eyes and your nose to run, and so slowly and surely, and this even pressed upon me a little bit more after finding out 5 of people. I haven't been in contact with them, so I don't have it. I won't be getting it. But 5 people that I actually know have had it. A whole, and this 5 people is a whole family. So it was 4 of the 5 kids, the dad and the mom, all had it. Only one of the kids did not get it, and that's like wow. And but I say that because they're expecting in the next 2 weeks for people to start developing symptoms and then needing help.
I would just like to point out I was forced to get my test today.
You got a blood antibody test then?
No, for the COVID.
They didn't stick that thing in your nose.
No, they did the blood instead.
Yeah. Did you get the results yet? You get them tomorrow?
I'll get them tomorrow.
Oh, you got unsuspended.
Yeah. How you doing?
I just realized that. Yes, I told you. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
Yes, you do.
I told you. So they say there will be no way. The problem, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is probably what's going to shut us down, this country back.
We can't hear you.
End of July, because there's no way to contact trace this.
Right.
Because these people have now spread it to person to person to person to person, and then we'll go back home and spread it to person to person to person to person. So there's contact tracing out of the window. And that was one of the main key things they needed to have in place for opening up all our governments, all of our cities and all of our states and everything local. And now you have these protests with these people not standing close to each other. Maybe, and it doesn't matter if you're wearing a mask. If you pull it down and you start screaming, hey, ho, Donald Trump has got to go. Now I got it because it's in my eyes. Because I'm looking at you and you just up there. Like last night, here in Baltimore, the guy that was downtown, trying to make sure everybody that was calm, and he was up on top of the truck. If he had it, and he was screaming into that microphone, all of them in the front row got it, and they spread it all.
And the people that was around him, exactly. You said it goes.
It goes like that. It's gas spread.
And that's the part. That's the problem that I have with a lot of the organizers who organized these. It was no plan put into place because a lot of them are not even thinking about us being in the middle of a horrible
pandemic.
No, they're not even caring. Most of them are looking for a moment.
It's like they completely forgot. But I understand, like, this was a cauldron ready with a lid that was so tight it was going to pop and it was going to explode all over the place. And that's what this was. As soon as you let these people come outside again, the first thing that was going to happen, it was going to be an explosion, because you had these people cooped in the house for 3 months. And so got free, and then not just because of Floyd, but he died, and this was their first thing that they could explode over and put their frustrations from being in the house for 3 months on.
Yeah.
And it was a powder keg.
Yeah.
And this is what you get. Oh, wait a minute, what's going on? Is this happening right now? 8th night of protest over George Floyd. Oh, okay, that must have been
It's just crazy. I'm really disappointed in a lot of the organizers and the individuals that could have supported them in organizing this, because you just saw globs of people, really big globs of people for no reason. Like nobody, all my friends that I saw in videos, I messaged them like, what the hell are you doing? Like, back up. And they're trying to have a moment, and it's angering me because it's keeping us in the house even longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be in the house until next year. It's not.
We're gonna go back in the house.
October.
I haven't actually left my house, so I've been here. I'm going to be here because I'm not coming outside. I'm already having asthma symptoms right at this moment because I can't seem to get warm. But I'm
not changing too much.
Yeah, I think it's gonna last till next year too. I think it's gonna last.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Especially now. Especially now.
8 days. I mean, can you imagine now? This is the 8th day of protesting, where it's been thousands and thousands of people, and then what they do at night is they go right back home to people that probably left at home that didn't want to come out because of COVID, and now they're infected.
That you just spread to your cats just now.
So some of these jobs have already implemented the fact that they're going to use the thermometers to see how you're doing, and but if you don't have the testing ability, how are you going to detect who has it before they are on their deathbed?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't even get that being like the means of saying who got it or not, because a fever isn't necessarily what you're gonna get.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've been testing under 98.9 for the past 2 weeks and been coming to work with it.
Because you're asymptomatic, right?
Right. I'm just not, or it's just been dormant for those 2 weeks or however long the new incubation period is. Like it's not even. I don't get this, and people are making decisions based off of Trump. What Trump says. Like this is they created him as a standard.
Part about it is that he's not even talking about it at all anymore.
No, he's
right.
It's over. Since this stuff started, it's over. And
he didn't even have a mask on yesterday.
Nope.
He is going to leave this country in a state of.
Let's not talk about that part.
I don't care what the state of this country is. I just want somebody else to fix it. I don't want him anymore. I want him to get bored with this and leave. Just pack up his shit and just leave.
He's not.
Wasn't there a post? There was a post that said that this is going to be a force for the representatives to step up.
Right. So yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, they are all talking about how to limit his power because he keeps talking about bringing the military inland.
Yeah.
It's illegal, and I lost it. But yeah, but that's what the conversation is now. But you don't know how partisan it is. That's the problem. Republicans seem to go for everything he says. So how it's like the impeachment line again. So we can make this bill, but is it going to pass in the Senate? They can make this bill. Is it going to pass in the House? And we're still going to be in combativeness, which is what we were talking about the other night, where I was like, everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to get fired. Everybody got to go. And we need to make a new system. Again, with the Constitution, it's time for a rewrite. Rewrite redesign of this whole entire system. This system may have worked back in the 1800s, but it's not doing its job now.
Nope.
Right.
It's still stuck in this pattern where stuff is not getting done. I'm surprised that we even have a budget right at this moment.
Right.
Because stuff is not getting done. Who knew that Tekashi 6ix9ine had got released?
He's been released.
I've been knew that like 2 weeks ago.
I didn't know that.
He's been
I don't follow him.
Yes, he has.
Since this has started.
He attempted to donate $300,000 to No Child Left Behind or No Child Hungry, and they turned the money down.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, they turned the money down from him. He had an opinion.
Oh wow, that's interesting. A nonprofit with a heart.
But they
turned the money down.
I mean, they should have said, "Oh, well, we can't put your name on it. We can take it anonymously."
Yeah,
well, he didn't want to do it anonymously because he's.
Oh, then that's what. Yeah, I would have turned it down too. If you can't take it anonymous, if you want name recognition for something, I don't know why.
They've got him censored from discussing political issues. He wants to speak out on what's going on now. They told him he can't do it. Because he's still on probation, so he can't.
He's on house arrest.
They're doing this because of what he represents, and it's all stemming from him snitching. This is what this is stemming from.
Yeah.
And I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. Somebody attacks you and tries to kill you, and because you tell on them, you're the bad guy. Now, I'm not saying his lifestyle was any better, but this whole stop snitching shit, it is so dumb to me. It is the hoodest shit I've ever seen in my life, and we deserve everything we get for upholding dumb shit like that.
But he did put a hit on someone while he was during that time. He put a hit on somebody. He
No,
just
he didn't do it. They put a hit out on him and his family.
after the fact they put a hit on
I
him, but he
don't
tried to put
believe
a hit on somebody else.
I don't believe
Ooh.
Did he say that,
Mm-mm.
or is that what you heard?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I read that.
I
I read it in an article when he got out regarding the rest. I'll read it again, but he was not this innocent. They try to say he was this innocent artist who didn't know what he was getting himself into. I don't believe that.
No, he knew. He knew
Mhm.
exactly.
You running with Bloods? Come on now.
He knew.
Most of the rappers are doing that now. It's a sign of protection, but it just backfired on him. That's all it was.
And they slept with his baby's mother. That was one reason that he snitched. He was hurt that they slept with the mother of his child. Nicky Barnes did the same thing. He snitched because they slept with the mother of his child.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, the stuff that was done to him, they kidnapped him, they threatened to kill his family. Like, I'm a snitch. Put my face up there. I am going to snitch on you if you threaten to kill my mother. I am going to tell them everything about you. I don't like hood shit. I don't like it. I'm not from the hood. I don't like hood shit. I don't. I really don't. I hate hood shit. How do you defend somebody who is killing your fucking neighborhood? That's making it possible for you never to get anything beyond what you deserve. How do you defend that? We glorify shit like that, and it's the dumbest thing. Oh, I hate black people sometimes. Oh.
No comment.
You're not the only one.
That's okay. I'll put my name on it. My name.
You're not the only one. No, you're not the only one. You're not the only one, because I'm telling.
I hate that shit. That's why we're in this mess.
Long as you know.
We already know you telling Monty.
I'm telling.
Monty, yes, I know that.
Everything. I'm going to tell everything and everybody and everybody and everything.
Yeah, I've seen you photograph crackheads outside your house dancing in the street.
And posted it.
Yeah,
nobody should have to live like that. Nobody should have to live under those conditions where I got to be scared to make my neighborhood safe. Like, that shit is dumb to me.
It is.
It's not just going to urinate next to my truck. No.
Yeah.
I'm telling.
And most of them don't even live in those neighborhoods.
It's mine. I'm telling.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
That's that hood shit. That's why I had to move out of Park Heights, because that's the type of shit they do. They would just on your lawn.
I'm glad you left Park Heights. I'm happy that you were not.
I used to live in Park Heights too. I'm glad I got out.
I'm glad. That's very dangerous.
I got this one purposely for Nate, because Nate's opinions drive me mad sometimes, but this one is definitely for you. So George Clooney did this op-ed today, and it's about racism, of course. Racism is, so he says, racism is our pandemic, and in 400 years, we've yet to find a vaccine, basically. So George Clooney declared racism in the United States is our pandemic that infects us all. And it was pretty, I liked it. I just needed Nate's opinion on it. So it's a George Clooney, this is America's greatest pandemic is anti-Black racism.
Thank you, George Clooney.
So one of his quotes says, "There is a little doubt that George Floyd was murdered. This is our pandemic. It infects all of us. And in 400 years, we have yet to find a vaccine." So he then goes into saying, "The anger and the frustration we see playing out once again in our streets is just a reminder of how little we've grown as a country from our original sin of slavery."
I thank you, George Clooney, you white man. I appreciate you for speaking power to the inequities that are a part to this in this country right now. But where were you when your Black co-stars wasn't making as much as you, and they were twice as talented as you are? Where was your voice then, Mr. George Clooney? You are famous for doing what? Who are you? What do you represent in our country?
He's famous for ER. Oh, I can get in on that one.
That one TV show.
Right. It ran for 12 years.
Oh,
But he also did
cool.
what is it? Where Art the Brothers Where Art Thou or something like that?
Oh,
That
okay,
movie?
okay.
I don't know what else he did after that. What else did he do? Oh, Ocean's 11, 12,
Oh,
13, 14, and 15, I think.
oh, that's cool. That's cool. Mm.
And then he married them all.
Oh, he's a gentleman. Okay. I have a.
I mean,
I've been
I could
getting a lot
defend him
of.
because I am a fan of George Clooney, but it's also because I was a fan of ER. I watched every episode every day, just like I do Grey's Anatomy now. So, I mean, can we say 10 years from now that we wouldn't know who Meredith was from Grey's Anatomy?
Don't know who that is.
Oh, you don't watch Grey's Anatomy?
No, it's too white for me. Sorry.
Oh,
but it's not.
It is.
Wait, hold up. So is he saying
I said it was
that?
too white for me.
Oh,
So is he saying that?
Those black shows are too black for me.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I mean,
okay, y'all look crazy. Did he say that he died from the COVID-19 instead of his windpipe being closed? Is that what he's saying?
What? Explain.
Because I thought you said something about
yeah.
a little bit of it was the COVID-19 or something.
It sounded like he was blaming the pandemic.
Yeah.
More than
No. He said our original pandemic is slavery.
Oh,
that's what he said.
got
He
you.
said George Clooney declared racism in the United States to be our pandemic, and it affects us all.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just amazing to me. I've been tagged by so many white people in the last week, checking on me, saying they're my ally. But where the hell have you been? Where have you been? I'm tired of being tagged in messages when another black person's been killed by a white person, or when another Karen has been exposed. I'm so tired of that. I'm just agitated by the fact that you only nice to me when it's a photo op. What are you doing? I don't need to know where your mind is going.
I want to take you back to what you said about the black actors not making as much money as he was, or whatever. Is that his responsibility to make sure you're paid adequately?
It's not his responsibility, but it's not your responsibility
you just blamed him for
to
it.
speak up right now either.
You just blamed him for it.
I know I did. I know, because I'm equating it to it's not your responsibility to speak up right now. You could have stayed the white, cushion, rich man that you was.
And he could have.
You could have. But don't speak up now. Don't speak up now because it's popular.
Well, you hate him now for speaking up? He wants to join in your fight. I mean, I don't know how y'all want to win this. How y'all want to win this? How do y'all want to get this done?
I agree with Monty.
Apparently, it can't happen with
Monty said,
I don't want you speaking up. I don't want you speaking up because there's a spotlight.
And what do you want? Because if they don't speak up, then you're not going to get this done. So what do you want?
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Shut up and keep being your white self.
And then that's why we're going to still be here trying to ransack your own neighborhoods and being in the street.
Because when all of this blows over,
when they're trying to help, then
when it all blows over, you want to go back to where you were.
You want to live with them, but you don't want their help. How does that work?
I don't want to live with them. I don't.
You have to, or you're gonna have to leave.
I fuck with white people. I cash their checks. That's about as much as I do with white people.
My father said today that we should not alienate our allies.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, we shouldn't do that. We should not. So I agree with Monty.
Because they're not your ally. They not your ally. They only your ally when they need a ticket sale.
But see, not all of them are like that. A whole bunch of people that you saying that, but you boxing in a whole bunch of people that you probably actually call a friend.
What white person I've ever called a friend?
Karen.
Oh gosh, you are a Karen. You are no. Your name is now Geraldine.
No, I grew up. No,
you are a Geraldine.
It ain't nothing like that. I grew up with a great grandmother who told me what slavery was.
But I grew up with a half-white grandmother, and I'm not going to go down that path again. And because not everybody can be dragged into the racist fight. Nobody can drag everybody down that path.
Speak up when it counts, not when it's a spotlight or a mic in your hand.
But
I want
again,
your mouth.
again, you
because it's
say
a
that if
hashtag.
you know that man personally and everything that he
I
could
don't
have done.
care. He don't
walking
say
down the
nothing
street.
no other times. When has he spoken up? How many
I
Black
actually,
Lives
and I'm
rallies
agree
has
with you
he
there because I
been to?
don't know, but what I don't know is what I don't know. We don't know what he does in his personal time.
Yeah.
I hate when people condemn people for what they don't know either. You don't know what he's done.
I know what I know he
This
hasn't
probably
done.
cannot be his first time talking.
What, can you tell me another time?
I don't know. I just said that. I said I don't know what I don't know, but I also am not going to condemn somebody for what I don't know.
I am.
That's the problem.
I am.
I don't know what you want from them. What do you want from a white person then? What do you want? What do you want?
want
You don't want
nothing
their
from
help.
them.
Apparently, that's what you just said. You don't want their help. So what is it that they can do for
I don't
you?
want
Nothing?
anything from them. I don't want anything from them. I've never
So
asked
how do you want to fix this problem? How do you want to fix this problem? Because it sounds like
from
you
the
just want to
inside.
complain
From the inside.
and no one gets
It's
you.
not going. It's not going
From
to
the
happen. It's
inside.
not going to happen from the inside.
It's not going to happen because you keep saying it's not going to happen. That's
No,
why
it's
gonna
not.
happen.
We
It's
have.
not going
We
to happen
have.
without them. It's not going to
Yeah,
happen
our
period without
community,
them.
the
We
black
don't need them.
community.
We don't
The
need
black-
them.
Oh my God. So we here today. We here today talking
I
about
did.
this because we don't need them.
What do we
We
need them
protested
for?
at the damn White House with the white man in the White House, and we don't need them. Because then what's the point of doing
What do
this?
we need them? What do we need them for then? Tell me what we need them for.
Do you know the majority of the Congress is white?
But do we?
So how you don't need them? Because you need their
Because
vote.
if we got out in the same droves that we
And
got
did
out
what?
to
We
get
did
our
that. We did
stimulus
that in the
checks,
60s, and
then
we still talking
would
about this
need them.
today. We did that in the 60s, and we're still here talking about this today. 2020.
Because we
60s to
didn't follow
2020.
up. We didn't follow up, just like what everybody did today. They dropped their ballot in a box, and they not going to think about it until the next time. If they think about it the next time. Nobody's going to follow up throughout the year. Nobody's going to go to anything because they're too busy. They booked and busy in the house to do anything. What's going to happen after the night?
I think the black community is so divided. It's so divided amongst ourselves. It's going to take a lot of healing before we can all come together.
It is.
Period.
It is going to take a lot of healing. And it's going to take a lot of people eating their words, a lot of the people that moved out into the sprawl and are so focused on their own selves that they're not caring about what's happening to the rest of their community.
Because I've had
That's
black men tell me that transgenders and gay people deserve to die and are not a part of our community. That's a problem. They're not black.
What did you say to them when they said that? What did you say?
I deleted them.
Oh, you deleted them. Okay.
I deleted them. I'm proactive. I love my people. I don't care if you're gay, straight, trans, curious, bi. I love my people. But we have to come together and move past sexuality and the things that are affecting our community.
I say it again.
We can't even begin to develop any allies or relationships with them. We can't.
But I do agree with Monty. I do agree with Monty that we do need to.
We got to come together and figure out how to do this because we are a race.
But we need to do that amongst ourselves.
No, it's not we. Because you keep talking about us as black folk. We got to stop that.
We do. We're not good with ourselves.
We are
how we gonna make allies
doing something on one side of the world and them doing something on the other side of the world is not going to make.
We need to get our own community together first. Having a white ally is not going to pay your mortgage. You having a white friend, is that going to pay your mortgage?
My boss is white, so I got my mortgage paid, boo. Thanks.
My stepdaddy was a white man, and he paid my rent.
It is because of her. She hired me. Yes, it's because of her. What do you mean? Is it because of her? Yes, indeed.
So is it because of the many black people? I'm not going to bring it up because I don't want to expose what you do for a living. But at the same time, we need to get ourselves together first before we connect arms with any other race of people. If we don't have,
we're not another race of people. We are one race. It's only one of us. It's only one race, and we got a shade of different skin. That's where your problem is.
So all lives matter.
And we're not all lives matter.
So all lives matter.
Doing that and trying to identify yourself as a subset of people, we can stop this whole damn bullshit.
So all lives matter then.
What we're talking right now is bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
We want equality, but you don't know how to get equality. That's the problem.
No, I feel the way I feel, and I respect the way you feel. And I think we need to get ourselves together first. If you don't believe that, that's your opinion. But don't
How are you going to get
me.
yourself together?
Don't
How are you going to
deny
get
or
yourself together?
belittle
Let's
me
take that
because I
question.
feel some way.
How are we
I
supposed to get ourselves
respect
together?
white people all the time. I don't need them.
How are we
I
supposed
need
to
my
get ourselves
brothers and
together?
sisters before I need them. All of a sudden now we one people.
How are we supposed to get ourselves together?
Collectively begin to learn how to communicate with each other instead of cutting each other down when we have a difference of opinion. That's the biggest way that we can start doing that.
And
we
then where
don't
does that
need
lead
them.
us to? And then
We
where
have
does that lead
more
us to?
spending power. We have more initiatives that we do. We don't need them. We need to get ourselves together first and get our own homes together collectively before we ally with any other race of people.
And what's the first step to doing that? Getting ourselves together.
Be collective. Learn how to communicate with each other. Stop feeling like we have to run to a white person to solve our problems.
And
we need to get our own community.
How's that worked out since the 60s?
It hasn't been consistent.
Because there's not enough of us.
Too much time.
Because there's not enough of us.
We spent too much time trying to assimilate. We spent too much time trying to assimilate and not enough time getting our own front yard together. It was a time where we could not go to a Harvard or Yale, but we break our neck to go there, but yet we belittle a Coppin or a Morgan or Howard. We belittle that because it's an HBCU.
Who belittles it, though? The people that don't want to go there?
This is a great time to check on Benea.
That don't want to go there belittles it. They don't want to go there. It's choices. That's why we opened up the choices. That's why we fought to making choices. Because we opened up choices and we don't want to go to Coppin. So now we belittling it just because we don't want to go there?
Exactly.
Okay.
Is Benea in the waiting room now?
I'm not back out from my opinion. We spend too much time trying to be like them and not enough time furthering ourselves.
I don't get
what you mean by trying to be like them.
Black woman.
What is trying to be like them?
I don't think that's a hard question for you to answer for yourself.
It's a correct question to ask because you just said it. So I'm asking what is trying to be like them.
I'm not answering that question. I'm not. Because it's obvious that you like the white man.
I wanted you to define what you mean by trying to be like them. That's what I asked the question. I asked the question.
It's many different examples of it.
Oh, okay. There we have that.
Yeah.
So there was a 95-year-old white man who caught 4 buses to march against racism today. Then I say, but I just want to preface this story by saying what I said about the other story. I was waiting for Nate. I said that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why I wanted him here. After reading this, so I thought that was sweet. There was a 95-year-old man. He could barely walk. It was real cute. And so he wanted to come and show his support in the protest today in DC. 95 years old. And I don't think he walked far because he was 95 years old. But I thought it was cute.
It was.
Did you see him?
I don't watch the news like that, so I didn't see it.
Get out.
Yeah, they had him everywhere though. He I don't know if they put him in a wheelchair eventually because he had to be carried, to walk to march. But he was really persistent that he wanted to do this today. And I thought that was
I wonder if he marched back like during his younger years.
During his younger days. I wonder that too. Like, yeah. I wonder about the evolution of that too, because some of these
people not the same.
Have been around since then, and what have they done, or how have they evolved? Whether you evolved in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, of 2000s, when was your evolution? When did you get the feeling of? Because there are a lot of people out there that are supporting this now, and And it's more people now than it's ever been because they've been so silent with that, like you said, all lives matters situation and all that kind of stuff, and not understanding the provocation of what's going on. And I'm intrigued to know some white folks' evolution. I'm intrigued on that.
I mean, a lot of especially within the arts, there's been a lot of conversation over the last 5 or 6 years about diversity and trying to convince other cultures that we are valuable to the system at large, not just to the Black portion of it. But I think a lot of them are now, I don't believe a lot of them, first of all. I really don't. Because I don't understand how you can see the injustices happen, but still have backdoor conversations, not understanding why we can't do better and why most of us are still beneath the levels of education and economics and just the social level, and still see where the injustices are happening and still understand that many of them are the gatekeepers and that are honestly keeping a lot of us outside because they fear their power structure being destroyed by letting too many of us in. You know, it's a whole class system, and I'm only this passionate about it. One, because I'm a teacher, and the other side because I'm an artist. So I'm seeing this from a side where I'm sitting down at a table with white people who think I'm safe and think they can say certain things around me in ignorance, and they have no type of concern for their actions. We have white boards of organizations still making decisions for us and not including us. Our content, our culture, our uniqueness is so valuable to them, but our body, our physical body, isn't worthy enough to sit at a table and make decisions with them because they don't feel like we're intelligent enough.
I don't think it's the body. I think it's the color.
Figure out though. Are you saying
it's our physical body? They don't invite us to the decision-making table.
I'm still trying to figure out though. Are you saying this is all of them, or some of them, or most of them? Like, what do you?
If you aren't doing anything to change it or blow the whistle, then you are just as to blame as the person who is physically holding the door closed on them. I see people in these organizations
so everybody clearly sees that I'm Black, right? Okay.
Obviously.
And the only thing that I'm doing right now is this show. So is that enough for you?
I'm not saying that everybody needs to be on the battlefield because
that's what it sounds like. It sounds like I should go buy some stuff for some white people, to make them get out here on the street.
No, I didn't say anything. I don't care whether because obviously we're seeing now across this country that many of them are the people who are causing all of the ruckus. So I'm saying whatever you do is what you do. If I'm able to sit into a classroom and make sure this group of children for this school year has an understanding of what their history is and what their culture is and how significant we are, that's me on my front line, doing what I'm supposed to be doing. If I'm creating artwork that speaks not only to our struggle, but giving us options to get out of that struggle, then I'm doing my job as an artist on that front line. Do what you do on your front line. You have a radio station that you give free voice to anybody that wants to have something to say. That's you doing your part. That's what I want us to be able to be collective at it instead of downing each other. Or I'm not fucking with Be Exposed. I'm gonna go over here and start my own shit. That crab in a barrel mentality is what I'm thinking of.
But that's what
I'm speaking of.
But that's what George did. He used his platform. He did what he normally do to bring awareness.
But I just wondered. I wanted to get all that out because I just wanted to know: do you realize that is the same thing that they did?
Who is they?
The white people. That's the same thing. What you're presenting is the same thing that they did to keep you out and then you want to do the same thing on our side.
I'm not.
Keep them out.
My argument isn't to keep them out because they don't want to come into what we're doing.
What?
I didn't say that's not what I said. What I just said had nothing to do with keeping white people out of. They obviously don't
keep
want
out your
to come
friendship.
into our homes. That's not what I said. I
did
had
say.
nothing. I have no issue with white people. I don't deal with them on a social level
kind of an
because
issue.
I don't trust them.
Can I say something, please? Can I
Jump in
say
when you
something?
can. You better get them when you can. They're not gonna wait for you.
Okay, all right. My stepfather, before I became close with my stepfather, my mother had a white friend who took me under his wing, who taught me how to write, who made sure I went back to school to get my GED. He told me when I got to a certain level in life to pay it forward. He told me about my history beyond slavery. It took a white man to do that. And I come from a black man, but it took a white man to do that to me. So, and he put me and my daughter in his business book at Harvard University right now as a part of his family. He's no longer here. He's been gone for 10 years. But I would not be the woman I am today if it was for not that man loving me. So I do not look at color automatically as far as somebody's worthwhile. It took a white man to change my life. He changed my life.
Nothing I said was against white people. What I said was we as a black community need to get our shit together collectively first before we ally.
But you said they don't want to be a part of what we got going on. That's not true.
They don't.
That's not true though.
But do you see
did
how
he
that
come into your home and do that, or did he bring you to his home?
We got to get ourselves together collectively, right?
Yes.
When you say that, you do actually push somebody away.
You're not pushing them away.
You can become an ally. Because why is it that having an ally to help you build up your product or build up your presence so negative? Why is that bad?
But see, you're putting words in my mouth. I don't know.
You just actually said that. We need to build up ourselves collectively, is what you just said.
And that's what I said. We need to get our home together. We need to get our home together. We have a problem with each other. So we need to get ourselves together with no distractions. We need to get our businesses together.
So then that's when I ask you the question, what is our problem and how do we overcome it? What is our problem? Because I don't have a problem with you or any of the black folks.
I don't either.
We obviously don't, because we're sitting here together. I wouldn't have been working with your station all these years if I had an issue. What I'm saying is, beyond this space right here, the four of us that are here, our black community has an issue with working within ourselves, the way we do business.
So that just leads me back to like what? What are you saying? Like buying our own
mean like supporting
and stuff like
supporting each other, dealing with each other, communicating with each other.
That still lends to the fact that what is the product you're producing? Like Nate, I support you. I may not come to your plays because that's not my thing. You understand that? Do you get that? Plays are not my thing. But I will support you in any way I can.
Right.
But that's
that's not happening though. It's not happening in that way though. People are not saying, well, you know what? I'm not really a fan of Be Exposed, but anybody that I know that would be, I'm gonna make sure they get there. They're not doing that. They're cutting off any type of communication, running their mouth.
That kind of goes to
trying to get their own stuff together. Right. And what I feel is we, as a black culture, and that's people, brown people, people of color, we need to get our own selves collectively. Look at Asians. They are so tight. Most of them don't even get out and vote. But they're so collective, they're so together that they have their shit together.
Their
businesses are thriving.
The most thing that I hear about somebody not voting is the most thing that I hear about somebody saying they don't vote is because they say they don't trust the system.
Yeah.
So, and I'm starting not to trust the system myself.
Right.
And,
You said that.
and only because of the process that this mail-in ballot has now opened something to me that I just thought was inappropriate, which was that party was on the envelope.
Yep,
So
on the outside. Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, without some things that are in place to secure some of this stuff, we are never going to get anywhere. And trying to isolate the Black community to prepare themselves for something they're not really prepared for, it doesn't make sense. That won't make sense to me, because you're still going to be, to do that, you still have to spend the American dollar, and the American dollar doesn't see the color of your skin.
And I get that. My problem,
it's not like you can make a currency.
We can't just go to a day of absence where we just evacuate the world and go get ourselves together and do some professional development within our culture. What I'm saying is we need to just shore up the way we do business, the way we communicate with each other. I'm not saying for us to be fake and phony, but we don't gotta like each other. But we gotta make sure our businesses are tight. We gotta make sure our communities are tight.
So we need to support each other.
That's the major thing. And it doesn't mean you gotta come to my show. You provided this platform for me to be able to promote my show. That's you doing your support in my artistry. That's it. That's all it takes.
My problem is with it.
Everybody don't have it like that.
I don't have a problem with that. I guess my feeling of funniness is how I don't do that because you're Black.
I
think you all are taking what I'm saying and going in a different
direction. No. I'm not even trying to say that because of race. I'm not saying that. I don't do that because I don't do this because I'm trying to support my community. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to support my culture. You see what I'm saying? I do this to give voice to everyone. I'm not, I don't want to live in a world that's exclusive.
I'm not saying to make all of our businesses exclusive. I am saying, as a Black community, we need more than just, we have, and it's crazy because we have organizations that are for us to be able to shore up our business. We got the Black Caucus. We got the Black Business Empowerment Center. I just messed up the name, but we have these organizations already in place, but they're so isolated because they believe this and they believe that, and we're gonna pick and choose what businesses we're gonna allow to be a part of this, or individuals, even within our government system. I see a lack of unity amongst us. We don't have to like each other. We don't even have to love each other, but there's a certain level of respect that is gone from our communities that used to be there. I'm tired of hearing stories from my older relatives about how our community used to be. I don't know that world. None of us are at an age where we know that world, but that world existed at some point, and we can't live without the system. So that means we need to get our stuff together and really make our voice loud enough, unified enough, so they can't pull this stuff over us anymore. They get away with this because we keep saying we don't have the power. Well, we'll never have the power if we keep relinquishing it to them every voting day. We just relinquished our power once again because many of us are not going to follow up. Now, you may not be able to go to the meeting every week or at all, but this person can go to the meeting. There needs to be some way where we are still sharing the information and understanding what it's going to be for us to be able to move forward. While we can't get our school system back on a level where we are actually learning, and we're not having these white people come in and teach our children and dumb them down. It's crazy to me that U.S. history has nothing to do with us. And the only inkling that we have in it is us being slaves. And we've allowed that to happen in our school system and in our homes forever. That's the problem that we have. And we have Black institutions out here that we don't go into in droves to support. We only support something when it becomes limited. and it becomes popular. If Oprah says it's good, then we rush to it. Or if Beyonce says it's good, we rush to it. If they're not speaking on it,
I guess I can't. I didn't go to a city school, so I don't know what that's like. And
Yeah, I was raised in the county in the
I
suburbs.
didn't. I don't see that as being being taught by a white person as a negative.
you don't. But you don't see that being a negative. When
No,
when
because
our
I
school
did.
system,
We had in my schools, we had African American studies. We had one
well,
of our
it's not
social
happening in these city schools.
requirements was African American studies.
Well, it's not happening in these city schools. And
That's
that's
what
the
I'm saying. I'm
problem.
just saying I don't have that opinion because I didn't go to a city school, so I
But
don't
you
know.
know, but you
what the
know it to
structure
be
is.
true, though.
I mean, I guess you got a problem with your superintendent because she's black.
But you know, we have a CEO. We don't have a superintendent. So
CEO,
she's
she's
about
still
the
black.
bottom line.
They didn't change that color.
Say it again.
The title's not a cover.
Yeah, but at the same time, she's focused on the bottom line. Her child doesn't go to the normal public school, so she doesn't understand it either. And just you know it to be true, just because you didn't experience it, you know that it's true. And
No, I didn't know that.
system.
You actually just taught me something because I did not know that. Because
It's
I don't
not.
care. That Baltimore City Schools is not my issue. I have no kids. No one's there. So,
but you pay your taxes in Baltimore City, though.
I do, but again, Baltimore City Schools was not my issue. It's not my top issue. It may be a issue, but it's not my top issue. So
And
that
see,
wasn't
this
on
is
my
what has happened
radar.
within our community. This is what has happened. If it does not personally affect me, then I don't have no. That ain't
Right.
my
So
problem.
when it comes to voting for money, I just give y'all money. I mean, that's what I do because it doesn't affect me. I have no kids. I have nobody going to your school or any other school because that's not my issue. My issue would have been housing or something like that, getting a traffic light. So everybody's issues are their issues, and if they get enough votes, they get enough votes. They don't. They don't. That's how voting works.
But my point of in saying this is that is what has happened. And you see in other communities where they have their separate issues, but they collectively bring their voices together so everybody in their community is happy. They collectively do that. Just because you don't have children or you didn't go to public schools, I didn't go to public schools either. But I found my way into in terms of being a teacher, and I know what this school is. I didn't get Black history in none of my Catholic schools either, and that's a problem.
Nate, can I ask you a question? Do you have any white students?
I've had white students before, but I purposely have gone to schools where they don't exist.
Okay. Okay.
Or I've gone to schools where the majority of the students look like me. Because too many of those schools white teachers are being bussed in from other cities to teach our children their story and not ours. So now we have a whole public school system that's based on psychology and not educating our children. They have diagnosed our children very well, but they have not educated them. So I choose to go to a school with children that look like me.
I find fault in that because then you've isolated the people that you could have taught a better thing.
Or gave them a perspective of how we look at the world.
By saying that, you've actually built a new racist.
No, I have not. So that's not I'm not going to take that blame.
What you said is that you isolated yourself and people that look like you.
I chose to go to a school and bring storytelling to the young people that look like me because many of them needed a person like myself.
But why couldn't you have told that story to a young white person that could have grew up to be somebody totally different?
Because they have somebody that
you just told them. You basically just said to that white child, go over there and learn from your white people, and that's what they did. And now they grew up to be the Unabomber or somebody that just put their knee in the neck of a black guy and killed him. Do you see how that could be misconstrued and be messed up?
Black children? Who was going to focus on these black children? You've already said.
But that's why classes are mixed. That's why we fought against segregation, and you just made your whole entire school segregated again.
Who was going to pay attention to them? Who was going to teach them? If I wasn't
You was
there,
the
or
teacher.
there wasn't
You were the
enough
teacher in this scenario. You were the teacher.
Yeah.
You were the teacher. That's what we're talking about. You, the teacher, that said you were
If
to
I
teach the
wasn't,
people
if
that
I
look
was
like
not
you.
in, if it wasn't enough of
You
us
just
in that
segregated your own classroom. The thing that they fought against all those years back in the day. The history that you're talking about teaching, you just segregated them away from the white folk so you could teach them about segregation.
I never said
That
I
don't
was
make sense to me.
segregation. I never.
No,
you
what I'm
couldn't
saying
read my
is that
mouth.
you
I never
don't.
said I was
You just said that you are mad at them because they came into your classroom and taught them about their own. They taught your kids, your black kids, about their history.
No, they taught of their European history. They erased
That's what I
us
said. I
from
said their history. You said they
Yes.
taught them their history.
Yes.
So
yes,
you come back around on the other end of that and do the same thing. That's just to teach your kids your
I'm
history.
not responsible for white children's educations about.
Oh my God, I gotta go. I can't. It's not.
What's the problem?
The problem is that you are
is.
being
So
racist and
want
not
me to
even
teach-
seeing it.
You want teachers to go out.
I want
and
you to
white
teach
children.
everybody. I want you to be in a
Okay,
public
and I
school
have taught
everywhere.
everybody. I have taught everybody. I made a conscious decision to only teach in Baltimore City public school systems that are predominantly black and brown children. That was my choice because
It is. I'm
our
not trying to take your
students
choice
are
away.
not being
It is
taught.
definitely your choice. I just wanted to put my point on it, my opinion.
But
my
it
opinion
made no
is that
sense.
That is very
Your point made
isolationist.
no sense.
That's
Why would
very
I leave my black students?
I didn't
without the
say
proper
leave anybody.
education?
I didn't say leave anybody. You said you chose to
Our
teach.
students aren't
only
out
black
at those
kids. That's
random
what you
town
said.
type schools.
I was just
They're
saying,
not
why
letting that
couldn't it
many
be
of us into
inclusive?
those
And if you
schools.
had white kids in your classroom, that was opening their eyes up to something new that could be beneficial to the future generation.
It's only as beneficial as their
We all have to live here. We all have to live here.
We
You
all
can't leave
do.
out your
And
door and not see
I
a
am
white
not-
person.
I
And the
am
problem
not-
is that's why racism continues to carry on. Is
I
because
am
we
not
all want to be
against-
isolationists.
But I'm not against white people. I am saying I am for black people. That's what I'm saying. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that everything that I can do is being given to people that look like me.
Got it.
Our children are missing resources, valuable resources that allow them to be able to fight in a world where they'll always be looked at.
That sounds
as
perfect if
second
you were
place.
purely pure black. If you were the one that came over on that boat 400 years ago. If you were pure black. And you were here black then. But it doesn't make sense today when your skin is so diluted
Ooh, that was so COVID.
that you isolate yourself from the people that actually might be
I'm not
akin to you.
isolating myself from anything because I bust my ass every day.
I'm going to
making
move
sure
on.
That
I'm gonna move
everybody
on.
gets what they want to get.
I think this deserves its
I
own
work with
show,
all
and I
different
got
types
other
of
topics
people,
to get
and I
to.
see the disparities. And the problem is individuals like yourself who don't see the disparities that are
I
happening.
don't see it because I also have white people in my family, and I'm never going to choose a side. I'm not doing
My
that.
grandfather
I have
is a
support
whole
for
white man.
everybody. I'm
My
not going to just
grandfather is
not
a whole white
support
man.
people
So that
and
makes
not
that
offer
argument
and
doesn't
lend
make sense
support
to
to
me.
somebody because I want to dictate my skin color. That is
I
the
don't-
damn problem.
I don't
Everybody
hate
wants to
white
dictate a skin color.
But you're making it seem as if
No,
I
what
hate
I'm
white
making it is that
I
we're going
never
to move
said
on.
that.
That's what
because
I'm
I'm in the whole.
going to make it that we're
against-
going to move on. We're going to move on.
Move on then.
Is Benia there yet?
Jail.
Oh,
With this show that I host and pay for? No, not tonight. It's not how we're going to do it. So Floyd Mayweather is paying for,
Oh wow.
paying for
Wow.
George Floyd's funeral.
Yes, I heard about that. And I
And the
posted
family
about that on
accepted.
Facebook.
That was genuinely nice.
Yes, that I saw it. I posted it on Facebook. I saw that. He's got plenty of money to do it, and I'm glad that he's using his platform as a means to lay this man to rest. It's going to be a big funeral. It's going to be huge. And one thing, yeah.
Okay, I got some of the dates too.
Oh, for the viewing and the funeral
memorial.
itself.
So they got a memorial service happening Thursday from 1 to 3 in Minneapolis, and they're also doing another memorial service in North Carolina on Saturday from 11 to 3. Then they're having the funeral in Houston Monday.
Monday. Okay.
That's actually the viewing. The viewing is on Monday in Houston from 12 to 6. And then the actual funeral is happening on Tuesday at 11 a.m. and Vice President Biden will be in attendance.
That's
I actually probably think a whole bunch of people are going to show. It probably even Barack Obama.
Yeah.
So is he from all those places?
Yeah, he's from Houston. He was from Houston.
He was living in Houston.
Yeah, he was working in Minnesota.
But they said North Carolina.
He was a truck driver. Okay,
so he's been through all those places.
Yeah, he's Houston based. He became a truck driver.
Right, but I'm saying, what is the purpose of them doing something in North Carolina?
I don't know. Maybe East Coast, West Coast.
It's a high profile.
It might be an East Coast, West Coast thing.
Yeah, it's a high profile murder. There are a lot of people that want to.
That's a great question, though. I never thought about it that way. I assumed it was the East Coast, West Coast thing for support.
Yeah, because I'm just like, he going.
If they could ship him to Dubai, they would ship his body to Dubai because they're protesting over there too.
I don't know if the body's going to be there, though. I think they're just doing the memorials. I think they're going to take the body straight to Houston, and they're just going to do memorials on East Coast and memorial on the West Coast. And I guess North Carolina was more centralized. Because you could have asked the question, why not D.C.?
Right.
Because you already know, because if Trump shows his ass to that, I'm driving to D.C. myself.
He's not going to that. You think
I said he showed his ass concerning
he's probably gonna be talking. He probably gonna be on Twitter. And
nobody wants to hear what he has to say.
I would be remiss to say if I bet you to be televised.
No, it is going to be. I believe that.
Oh yeah,
I believe it's going to be televised. Definitely.
I watched the whole damn thing.
Yeah, I definitely believe that.
Because if Floyd Mayweather is involved, it's going to be very nice. It's going to be very nice. I'm sure he's going to be put away very nice. And I'm
sure it's more celebrities that probably donated to helping with the funeral. But.
Oh, yeah. Because Kobe Bryant's wife spoke out about it yesterday. She was upset about it. A lot of people are upset about it. A lot of people.
Hey, you can tell. East Coast, West Coast, North, South. Everybody's outraged.
Everything's on fire.
Yep, everybody's outraged.
I dropped my mic in my water.
Oh.
I got it.
Don't be sounding all muffled and stuff.
I was going to get electrocuted. It was going to be muffled. It would have been muffled.
Lord.
All right, I'm going to do this last thing because this would have lightened the mood, but... I think it would have.
Lord Jesus, money, damn it.
Seeing as though Faith Evans and Stevie J are in this fight, I guess.
Yeah.
Faith Evans has found herself in some legal trouble because we've learned that the singer was arrested for allegedly attacking Stevie J. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ Faith was arrested earlier this week around 1 a.m. after cops got called to their LA area home where we're told Faith and Stevie got into a heated argument, and at some point it turned violent. Sources say when the cops showed up, they noticed visible marks and scratches on Stevie J's face.
Oh, Lord.
It's unclear what triggered the argument, but in any event, cops arrested Faith and booked her on felony domestic violence. Faith bonded out later that day.
Oh, not Miss Legend. Jesus.
Let me tell you something. Let me just say this.
Faith
I already know I know what that fight was about. I know what that fight was about because I know Stevie J. I know how he gets down. So I'm sure he probably stepped out on her. My opinion.
I would be scared that this one. This one, I don't know.
What do you think happened?
I don't think he actually did the step. I don't know. I can't. With Stevie J, you never know though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Because that thing's been everywhere.
Yeah, with Stevie J, you just don't know. It would be stupid to do it because I know she can beat his ass.
She beat Lil' Kim ass. She beat other people's ass in the hotels back in the 90s. Faith can fight. She can fight.
And she makes no qualm about being able to do so. Like you said, she will do it. I will put my hands on you. And she's that quiet one too, that like
Those are the ones you got to be worried about.
Speak to you unless she spoke, you know, like you greet her and open her up to talking to you. She's one of those recluse kind of people.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she is. 'Cause she's been. Let's see. She's been a staple in our lives for over 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you kind of feel like you get to know a person's character and personality through the interview.
Right, but my point in saying that I don't know if he would do that is because after all this time, they've been friends. You really would do that to her?
Man,
he's manipulative.
But this,
what I'm saying is
that they have a foundation in their relationship that transcends every other.
But should they be together, Monty? Should they even be together? Because they were friends.
I don't know. I don't know because I don't know.
Because that was Biggie's homeboy, and he was Biggie's baby's godfather. Should they even have
I don't know what drew them together because we don't know the defining factors of their relationship in the first place. But it was a 20-year build. It was over a 20-year build to build that relationship in the first place. That friendship.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about.
I know.
Like, meaning that he knows exactly who she is, and she knows exactly who he is. So what is it that made it snap?
Yeah.
She didn't. It's not like she married a stranger. She did not marry a stranger.
No, she did not. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. She has the bigger relationship because she has the relationship that outlasts all of his baby mothers.
Yeah,
and they weren't planning on having any more kids.
Yeah,
they got 10 of them. They got 10 damn kids. They don't need no more.
That's what I'm saying. So their relationship was really a grown folks relationship, meaning that we're not having no kids. We just married and we're here for each other.
Yeah.
So what made it snap is my point.
I think he took his ping and put it in somebody else's thing.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't understand. Like, why would you risk that with this person?
I think he's a sex
because it's his nature.
Like, why not have that conversation? You had that kind of fun for the past 20 years. That's why you got all these.
You know what I think?
But because he feels like he can do it, it's just him. That's just what he does. He feels like
that's what I'm saying. But I don't think that was the person that, and I think he would be smart enough to know that this one is not the person to do that with.
I think he's a sex addict. That's what I think. I think he's a sex addict, and I think he can't control it.
I mean, but you can see it though on Love and Hip Hop because he still be flirting with Mimi.
Exactly.
Mimi and Jocelyn and whoever else he can get that thing with.
I don't know about Jocelyn though because that restraining order is very tight.
That thing she with.
Yeah. She got a restraining order on him.
But that man she with, he don't tolerate that. He ain't playing that.
Oh yeah, I like her.
She's moved on and all that kind of stuff.
That man does not play that.
But his relationship with Jocelyn was violent. You know, their relationship was violent.
But she got one now that's violent that will jack her up in a heartbeat.
I don't know. He be whining too.
Yeah, he do. But if you watch the little show they on,
ready to leave and he was whining.
No, that day when she was feeding the man's.
Feeding the man the fruit.
The strawberries.
He went ballistic.
He went off.
Yeah.
He went off though, but he was leaving. He didn't go off like he was going to fight her. He went off like I'm leaving.
No, he walked up on her and was like, "I will beat the shit out of you."
What's wrong with you? He was like,
but later on that night, he packed his stuff to leave.
But she got her ass on them knees and
begged him back. But he did the same thing when he got caught. So that's why that's a vicious cycle right there. That's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that, like I said, I don't know. I you know what? It's weird because I think different partners bring out different things in you. I know that him and I would have never thought that him and Faith would ever have any domestic issues.
Benia is still sitting in the waiting room.
Girl, she just missed the whole show.
I see her
the lights off. She done turned the lights off and left the room.
She done with the bed
over there in your house.
She went to bed.
I even sent that message like, "Where you at?"
Benia, where's going on over there?
And this Faith and CBJ over there.
She heard that story.
I mean, I can still see the wall. Look, the TV look like it's on.
Yeah.
Benia,
the chair.
Get to your computer.
Lord.
I'll put it back in the waiting room.
To next show.
She would have sit there all night. That's up to her.
She could be there to next show.
Well, that's it, you guys. I don't have anything else. Let me look on my sheet real quick. What an interesting night.
I know. I need a blunt. And I haven't had one in 6 months. I have not had one in 6 months, and I need a blunt.
Yes,
I
Okay.
I don't even know.
Oh, this is Gray Spark, a whole nother one though. Here's all right. So I seen this comment on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I printed it out, but I don't. I didn't. So it said, I thought so I'll preface this by saying I thought this could have been a decompression type of thing, a decompression type of thing. So they, you know, with the police that are using the rubber bullets and stuff, and to you know, shoot people with them in an effort to sting you, but not actually hurt you or kill you. But I hate that factor because it's still threatening to the public.
Yeah, they hit the wrong place. You can still die.
And
they hit that boy in his forehead, and he had to have an emergency surgery.
Oh, I seen that girl. She got hit in her stomach, and it was like that.
Yeah, the lady last night.
Yeah, and it was purple where all the blood just pooled right there in that spot. She could actually kill you because you could throw a blood clot and die.
They would be responsible. They would be responsible.
They gave that little boy a concussion.
And it was talking about about the projectiles and things like that. And I was like, so my question was going to be to the panel: would it be wrong, or would it be a good idea if we had like World Paintball Day? So we
no,
because people talking about that the other day.
So we can get
I was asking her what a rubber bullet was, and she said some things you do when you go to paintball. I ain't been to paintball since '96.
I'm not sure. You hit me in my eye with that thing.
I mean, there should be some rules. It should be some rules, not to go.
Who follow rules?
Yeah, I will hit you in the eye.
See what I'm saying? Oh, you was petty.
Honest.
Right. But,
yeah, I would shoot for the forehead. I would.
See,
but I was saying that it would be a way for everybody to get their aggression out. Let's relieve some of this stress.
No, because it may turn violent when you out of your paintballs. You might decide to beat me with your gun.
I mean, we have unlimited supplies of paintballs. All right, so let's take that away from you.
No,
let's take that away from you.
I'm gonna be dead somewhere.
You'll be dead. Why are you dying?
If you already gonna tell me you was gonna hit me in my face, my eyes with the paintball, and it's unlimited,
you got to protect yourself from me. So
I'm sure you're not the only one. Okay, I'll be late somewhere. That would be the day that I will sit my butt in the house. Excuse me, I will not be at work today. I am staying home.
You would cut yourself out. So I would just send all the paintball people to your house and get them windows. Paint them windows.
It's okay. At least I'm gonna be inside protected. No, I'm gonna be under my bed, in my closet, somewhere. You will not get me.
So all right, so not worry. So all right, take the element of it being everybody out. If you could do it with law enforcement.
No, because as sick as and as sneaky as they are, they may turn, some of them may be paintball, and some of them may be rubber bullets, and some may be real.
Right. Look what happened to Brandon Lee. They thought it was the gun went. Remember, the gun went off and killed them by accident.
It's really cultural. It's really cultural that our disdain for the police and trust is.
Yeah, but they did that to themselves.
No, I asked you a question because I got two black people in here, and I wanted to see how far this was a test. I wanted to see how far the erosion is.
I ain't doing it.
And that trust is not there. It's gone.
No, it's not.
It's going
all the way.
Yeah,
I just wanted to see y'all real opinion.
In the words,
that was y'all real opinion, and it was worth it because I wanted to see what y'all real opinion was on that because it's gone. You have no trust at all.
Nope. Put me big on the screen. Put me big on the screen. I'm gonna make it. Because listen, Am I big? Am I big?
Yes.
In the words of Nene Leakes, the door is closed. Okay, I'm done.
But we can't be that way. That's the problem.
But
That's the
Monty,
problem. We gotta
but
be
Monty,
open.
we
They
all
did
have,
that.
we
We
all
have
have
did
said
to.
at some point in
We
the
have
past
to be open to the
because you're
conversation.
being nice tonight, but you've been on one for 6 days now.
I have been, but I have never, in my whole entire time of being on one, said that the conversation was closed.
No,
listen,
what you just
It's
just said 10 minutes ago. It's your damn show.
No, I was moving
And you
on.
be
I wanted
on
to
it.
move on because we were not going to get anywhere tonight in that conversation. We could not convince him
Yeah,
to
I understand that.
the
I
white
understand
person.
that.
I mean, what
No, but that really was my question because I really want to see how deep it ran with him as far as public education. That's all I want to see. Period. I believe everyone deserves an education and deserves the truth about their education.
Agreed. So how are you to blend? How will we ever? See, I don't want to go back into this because we can be here until 11 o'clock. But
I
how
just
will
feel
we
like
ever progress to the future? How are we ever to look to the future if we're going to always keep looking back?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's my only point. I mean, I wasn't trying to, disrespect anybody, but when the conversation is time to end, it's time to end.
Yeah, I understand.
Because it wasn't getting us nowhere. We would, us three. Us three was on this side trying to convince him to teach a white person. It was not going to happen. Some people have their way, and you're going to be there. That's it. I mean,
right?
I
But
can't
you
change
have those
everybody.
white
I
people.
try. That's what the show is called. Talk Lately. I'm trying. I'm trying to talk.
And maybe a white person may enjoy his plays and want to go to his
That's
plays.
what I'm
That's what I'm
saying.
saying. How can you shut off a whole entire subsection? That's the same. What I said was we start that process of reverse divisiveness. And that process will always keep repeating itself because you're going to keep reversing it and reversing it and reversing it and reversing it. Somebody has to stop it.
Yes,
but there's white people that want to learn how we look at the world. They want to learn.
They want to stop the cycle.
Yes.
They want to stop the cycle.
It is.
And if you're not going to invite them in, it will always continue. That's like when somebody says, or say for instance, if somebody reaches to touch your hair, you don't like it, but they're curious.
Yeah.
They are.
And if you shut down somebody's curiosity every time it happens, then they're always going to be curious and they're always going to want to touch it. But if they touch it that one time, the curiosity is gone. Let it go.
It's over. It's over.
And it's over.
Yeah. Well,
that's where a lot of
and if you don't want to have a racist if you don't want to have racism, you can't isolate from it because you are doing the same thing. You're being racist in reverse.
They need to be just as they need to be educated. I see themselves as equals. They need to be educated.
If you're not going to teach them, they're never going to learn.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's true.
That was my only point. It wasn't to make him upset. My point was that if you're only going to teach yourself your Black heritage, no one else is going to see it.
No.
And to be honest with you, most Blacks, like I said, I have put the post out there and gotten 100 to 200 comments where they said, "Oh, if he's gay or trans, he should die," and I could care less. That's not my community. You can't be like that. You just can't be like that.
Because what that does is then you say, if that's not your community, what color is he? So is he not in your community now?
Well, but I said we all have something in common. Well, the people, like I said, there was one gentleman who kept calling gay people sodomites, and I warned him, if you do it one more time, I'm deleting your ass. And he did it, and I deleted his ass. It's like I told him I would. I don't tolerate that shit on my page. I don't tolerate that. No, we're all in this together. We're all in this together, and that's how I look at things.
Are they still protesting down City Hall?
That's because there's no curfew in Baltimore. You talking about Baltimore, right?
Yeah, they down City Hall.
There's no curfew. We ain't burnt enough stuff yet.
Yeah, that was my only point. My point was to say, if we keep closing borders or closing ranks, how is anybody going to get past or not get past, but learn from it and to make change?
Mhm.
Because again, if you're not going to include them and the police are still the police, if you're not going to include them and the police are still the police, how are you going to make change in your police force? It's still going to happen because you didn't teach them anything. They don't know no better. They still think the way they think about you because you're not showing them something different.
Nothing different. No.
Yeah. Yes.
And then part of the conversation was going bad because a lot of the problems that we have was not the fault of them.
Right.
We hate to take responsibility for our own bullshit.
We got colorism. We got all kinds of shit in the Black community.
And
All
again,
kinds of stuff
and that's
wrong.
why I take it to if you got a bad product, you can't sell it.
Yeah.
That is definitely
Because I'm not going to
true.
waste not my money. I worked hard for this.
Yeah.
I got this money from the white folk for me.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sorry.
And I can't be I can't be the arbiter of everybody's issues because I got something of my own. It's called a dream.
Yes.
So if you
I
got
think a lot
kids,
of
your
them.
job is to vote for school issues because you have somebody to bring up in this world. My mother's job was to vote for school issues because she had me to bring up. I don't have any kids in Baltimore City school system, so my issues are not the school.
My issue
Now,
is the
it will be
parents.
my problem when those dummies come out of school and try to get a job at my station.
Okay, Monty, I don't mean to cut you off, but this just came through on NBC News.
Mhm.
Trump says he's moving GOP convention out of North Carolina.
Good luck. I'm glad. I don't want them that close anyway. Take it ass down to Florida. Goodbye.
Jesus.
It was a good conversation, though. It was.
Yeah, y'all was definitely lit.
Because I don't want to put that on Nate. It's not Nate's. I mean, if that's how he feels, it's how he feels. I'm not. I
He's
can't.
entitled.
I
He's entitled to his
practice in
opinion.
changing people's ideals.
Absolutely.
I practice in changing people's minds.
Yeah, I still respect him as a king, as a Black king. It's just I just needed to know some things about where he was coming from, what his viewpoints were. That's all.
Right.
I was just curious.
And that's what we do. We're talking lately. It wasn't to be aggressive or anything like that. So he'll be fine. I'll talk to him later.
I know he'll be on an RF exchange. What?
Well, I'm his producer. He has no choice.
Yeah.
But it was just it's just, you know, but it was the debate. It was really a good debate. I mean, you can't say it any other way. It was
They just said
confusing debate.
Yeah, they just said Pink shut down all Lives Matter commenters on her Instagram page. That she's sick of hearing that.
Pink did.
Pink.
Of course she did. The singer. Yeah, of course she did.
Yeah, there's something different about this particular death. It has really shook a lot of people. Like my aunt was saying, Lindsay, they are protesting all over the world right now for this.
I mean, because if you watch how he died, that was enough in itself.
I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it.
But I'm just saying that's what it was.
This one in particular is going to stand out in the history books because it's hitting the world.
Yes, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to
talk to everybody
about it
that's gone before him. They're going to be listed in the footnotes of this art printing in the history books. They're going to be listed as footnotes in there. But this is going to be the driving force. Will be George Floyd's death. It spearheaded a national, international movement.
Yes.
But again, I still go back to the fact
my aunt
that
said that man did not die in vain. He did not die in vain.
He died on a purpose, not for a purpose, but on a purpose.
Yeah.
And, the only thing is that so far they're basically beating my point that I was making all this week, is that they can't just do this for 7 days and then be over with it, because now they beat it. We're at 8 days now. So
Okay, look at that.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
just look at
Okay.
that.
I'm kind of proud
When
of,
you were on
Yes,
one,
look at
when
that.
you were
of
on
this.
one.
I was on one because I don't want another Freddie Gray situation where we do this for 7 days and then it's over.
And then we're done, right?
And then we're
Yeah.
done, and nothing happens, and nothing changes, and all
Well,
we
remember, there was a documentary
all we
that
have
came
is
out
Black
about
Lives
Freddie
Matter
McGray.
movement. Next week I'll have some giveaways for you, sickies. I got some.
Oh,
I told you everybody has it until they don't.
I don't.
got something for you.
She doesn't.
I've got some Black Lives Matter face masks to give away, and as soon as they
Ooh.
get here, we'll be giving those away next week.
Okay.
As well as a Be Exposed Radio cup. It'll be a face mask in there for you to put your cough syrup in the cup, so it's not coughing from the COVID. Where's it? Oh my God!
Hold up, because you were the
show
one.
on the camera.
You were the one sitting there.
But look,
there
Black isn't even showing on the camera.
Wait a minute. There you
There
go.
it is. There it is.
You were the
You get a
one.
Be Exposed Radio
was-
cup, and then you could get a face mask, a Black Lives Matter face mask.
Hold on, Monty, because you was the one that was projecting real loudly and sternly to your cats when you and Nate was fussing.
In my home.
Yeah, so you gave them cats COVID.
No, the cats are over here, so they're on this side. Of the room.
It still went like that.
But I don't go outside, so they couldn't have got COVID because I don't have it.
You had to go
Yeah,
to the radio station.
I've been in the house, like, unless I've had to leave for instance, I've been doing doctor's appointments over the phone.
I just want y'all to know too that all of that just happened is going to be a promo. So just saying.
Oh my God.
That's what I do. That's a nice
I hope
promo.
my father wasn't listening to that.
Oh, he
I
was
hope he was,
listening.
because he needed to listen to that because
We had like
because that's the debate. That is the debate right now. The debate
we
right
had a
now is how
couple
do we
dudes
live on this
YouTube
planet
watching.
together? How do we live on the planet together? We have to live here together. This planet is in turmoil and it's going to destroy itself. COVID is here. Racism is here.
And you know, I heard that Ebola came back.
Yeah, it was 2 cases of Ebola in Africa, but it always comes back. It never went away.
But it's
like malaria.
but
it never
it's
went away.
It's like this is June. Is that the new thing for June? Ebola now?
Look, we
But
got
Ebola
things.
was
Listen,
mainly based
I can
in
go through a
Africa
list
anyway.
right now to tell you what we got to deal with. We got this COVID stuff. We got this racism stuff. We got the locusts coming. We got the locusts tearing up Africa. They're all over the place. They can't get rid of them.
I saw
This
that.
world is telling you something. The locust is a biblical thing.
Yes,
But didn't they have those-
yes, Monty, it is.
But didn't they
Yes,
have that
it is.
those bee, then it wasn't the bees, but it was something like the bees that was
Oh, the
killing
killer
them.
bees.
The killer bee. Well, okay, yeah.
The murder hornets.
Right.
Murder
murder hornets. That's what they are.
Yeah, the hornets. Yeah, the
But
hornets.
what's worse is the murder hornets is one thing. You get stung, you die. The killer bees is going to kill. I mean, the locusts are going to kill everybody because they eat everything.
Mm.
And once the greens are gone, they're going to eat you.
I'm gonna need that. We too dirty for that shit.
No, but they're coming. This is our 17th year. Locusts are supposed to be here.
You mean the cicadas?
Cool. It's still
Are you
too
talking about
cold.
the
As soon as that heat
cicadas?
rises, actually, it's not too cold because it was 90 degrees today.
You talking about the cicadas, Monty?
The cicadas. Those are
Yes.
locusts. Cicadas are
Yeah,
locusts.
yeah. Because I know there's different types of them.
Yeah.
'Cause the ones in Africa are real big.
They look like grasshoppers. That's the
Yeah,
difference.
they do. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
They're
gonna
real
come up with
long.
some-
They're like that long.
They're
yeah.
gonna come up
And they
with some
look like
type of
grasshoppers.
killers
Yeah.
stuff for
But they're,
that.
they're actually cicadas and locusts.
I better get my bleach ready.
Ours are short and fat.
Yeah,
Their
yeah.
wingspans are big.
Better get my
I don't
bleach
have
ready.
my tennis racket yet, but I'm not coming outside, so y'all have fun with that. 'Cause
Ah!
I don't do
I'm about to
locusts
get
or
my.
other crap. I don't do no cicada.
I'm gonna have my bleach spray ready to run into the car.
They don't care
'Cause I
about that.
gotta go to work. I gotta go to work, so I'm gonna have to figure out
on your
something.
shoulder. They're gonna land on your shoulder. You don't remember 17 years ago? It actually wasn't even
Listen.
17 years ago because they were here 14
I have on
years ago, too.
so many different layers. They gonna be chewing for a while.
I had a tennis racket. Don't do
I got a couple tennis rackets.
I do not do
Okay,
bugs.
I got a couple tennis rackets, but I wear too many layers, too many clothes for them.
That don't mean it's gonna land right here.
I got too many layers on.
He can be like, hey,
I'm like, bye. Bro, we don't do that.
You lay on your shoulder like, hey.
I know. You gotta go, bro. We don't do that. No.
Cousin gonna be on your shoulder.
Oh, he gotta go too. No.
Because I remember
you gonna make me. I'm gonna be running for Ellen, right?
I was living in Buck Heights at that time too when they was here last.
Yeah, the praying mantises killed them though, right?
Yeah, they eat them, but it's not enough of them. They come out in storms. It's like it's raining all day long. Cicadas.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they freak me out real bad. Always have. And
the funny part about it is, as a child, we used to catch them and go find them and pick them up and scavenge hunt for the ones that was worth money, because it was like it's either the red ones or the blue ones or the ones with green eyes that were worth money. We used to try to find that one.
You was all up in the eyes and stuff?
That was a long time ago.
Oh no, you can see their eyes very pronounced. They're typically red.
They got big
I
eyes.
didn't have to worry about that.
Oh, look, you got them in your house.
No, it's this net that keeps flying. Don't let me.
It was trying to land on the leaf behind you.
I was trying to get my M&M. Yes, on this, on my lily pad and stuff. No. Stop.
You already got the cicadas in there.
No, it's a little. Look, as long as it didn't land right here, we good.
Oh,
no. You keep playing with me, money.
I wanted to get to this last. I wanted to talk about this last thing, but I think I'm gonna wrap it up now because Christian Amanpour actually interviewed Houston's police chief, where he told the president to keep his mouth shut. I like how
as he should.
Who did?
The
police chief.
Police chief.
He should.
It was interesting, but we can save that for a later time. We'll just go look it up. It was on CNN.
Okay. You should have played the LL Cool J rap.
I see. I'm quiet as it is. I've never been a fan of LL Cool J. So I really did not listen to it.
I like the Nick Cannon's one.
I like that one. I did like that one better.
We can go out with that one.
Thank you. Let me get that set up.
He was kind of aggressive in that. Yeah,
I'm gonna add that up to Nate being in the house too long.
Oh my God!
And I
just came back from vacation.
That's why I've been crying. I cried my frustrations out. I've cried for 6 days straight. I'm done crying. I didn't cry at all for the past 3 days. So
you play too much. You play way too much.
But I told you I go through that process, and now I'm back. I'm back. No more crying. No more feeling down.
You back, but you was on a rampage for the past.
But I'm not though. I was out on a tangent today.
You was good today.
I was good today. I was good yesterday.
You were nice today, but you have been on one. But like you've been on your cycles.
I wasn't even on one today. I was giving counterpoints to everything Nate said. I wasn't on one today.
No, not today, but
all week.
Lately, it's been on one lately. That's the show.
Yes. You was all week.
Yeah, let's get this on here.
It was like, I am so angry right now. Ooh.
I was, and it was.
I said, Lindsay, Money is angry right now.
I have an emotional crash every year. Probably, I think maybe once or twice a year. I think I also have one around my birthday time where I have an emotional crash. Because I don't release my emotions like every other human. I've evolved. I have most things. I don't.
You know, I want to cry over the George Floyd thing, but I can't bring myself.
I've inside of my 6 days, I cried maybe once or twice over this George because I cried during the video, watching the video.
Yeah, you did send a text and say you was crying watching this.
And then I cried for one other thing that was on TV. What did I actually called you and told you I was crying.
Because you said that he shot the bullets in the middle of the peaceful protest. I think he was upset about that. You was, because I didn't know nothing about it.
When the protest started last night.
Yeah, it was peaceful and you was going off.
Yeah, I was mad about that. That was that
Yeah.
that did something to
You was mad. You was angry about that.
because it wasn't necessary.
It
You did
wasn't.
not have to go to that church that night.
I'm
You
gonna
know,
look
all I saw
into. I'm gonna look into the family of the Howard University student that was killed, because I was reading the article while we were on air, and they're trying to get funding to
Oh, we're
bury
still on
him.
air. Let me get off of air. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back probably tomorrow, actually.
Bye.
I want to do
Good
another
night. God bless.
race argument tomorrow.
Oh my
Go ahead
God.
and put that Nick Cannon on. Go ahead and put that Nick Cannon on.
Since y'all worried about this pandemic when our grandparents still trying to recover from when you gave them syphilis. Because in our blood, we scared of the white cells attacking our immunity. The system defective, infected. So who has the disease, you or me? Because I'm at a dis-ease, disadvantage, dismantle, disability of your white knees killing me. Been on our neck for centuries. Knees or trees, either way you still lynching me. What did we ever do to you except for build and make America great initially? Fuck again, cause I can't breathe. Potentially you missing me, clearly not listening. Intentionally, we are a people of peace, but like Pac said, I ain't no killer, but your policies are pushing me further from the legislation, jumping off the education, while your skinheads, the damnation, and your clandestine rhetoric will forever be evident. Fuck the elite in the top 3%, I'm heaven sent. I was born Asiatic, and you made me asthmatic, so fuck your vaccines and masks. You gon' worry about these hands tomorrow, cause you can't sanitize the past. You may have took my last breath, but you'll never colonize my spirit. Standing there watching while I die. I can't breathe, and you still can't.
That's what it was for me when he brought up the syphilis thing.